The assembly will now come to order. The chief clerk will call the roll.
Assembly members Anderson, Backus, Brown May, Carter, Cole, Considine, Dahlia, DeLong, Dickman, De Silva, Edgeworth, Flanagan, Gallant, Gonzalez, Goulding, Gray, Gurr, Hafen, Hanson, Hardy, Hibbets, Hunt, Jackson, Howdigy, Karras, Kasama, Koenig, LaRue Hatch, Marzola, Miller, Monroe Moreno, Moore, Mosca, Nadeem, Wynn, O'Neill, Orentlicker, Roth, Torres Fawcett, Watts, Considine, Dickman, Speaker Yeager. Urick. Thank you. Speaker Yeager.
I am present. Assembly member Howdigy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May the record reflect we have 42 members present.
The record shall so reflect we have all 42 members present. That means we do have a quorum. Would members of the assembly and guests please rise? We have the prayer this morning by Chaplain George Whalen.
Good morning. Let us pray. The Lord is with you. May we now take a moment from our very busy day to be one with divinity, the one who resides in each one of us. Let us be still and celebrate this precious moment of peace and quiet with the one who truly loves and cares for you, your Creator, the one who calls you by name. Creator God, you have called each of our assembly members to be agents of change, to bring hope and new life for all Nevadans, to bring light where there was once darkness, to be a voice for the voiceless. Yes, you have called them to make a difference. No small task, but a most blessed and divinely inspired calling. We ask this day for the strength and guidance that only you can give, so that this 83rd session will bring honor and glory to you through our dedicated assembly members, true agents of change, who make future possibilities a reality today for so many. As always, we humbly ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order business 2, reading and approval of the journal.
Carson City, Tuesday, April 22nd.
Assembly member Howdigy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to dispense with reading of the journal and authorize the Speaker and Chief Clerk to make the necessary corrections or additions.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. That will now take us to order of business 7, messages from the Senate.
To the Honorable of the Assembly, I have the honor to inform your honorable body that the Senate on this day passed as amended Senate Bills numbers 1520, 169, 188, 273, 303, 325, 348, 350, 375, 386, 416, 442, 445, 447. And I have the honor to inform your honorable body that the Senate on this day passed Assembly Bills numbers 24, 125, 171, 372, and Senate Joint Resolution number 9. And I have the honor to inform your honorable body that the Senate on this day passed as amended Senate Bills numbers 780, 113, 179, 202, 213, 235, 305, 319, 347, 371, 443, and Senate Joint Resolution number 1. And I have the honor to inform your honorable body that the Senate on this day passed as amended Senate Bills numbers 48, 49, 87, 91, 115, 121, 155, 181, 183, 194, 201, 279, 287, 315, 320, 324, and Senate Joint Resolution Number 10. And I have the honor to inform your honorable body that this Senate on this day passed as amended Senate Bills numbers 130, 208, 210, 215, 276, 311, and 440. Sherry L. Rodriguez, Assistant Secretary of the Senate.
Order Business 8, motions, resolutions, and notices.
Senate Joint Resolution introduced by Senators Krasner and Stone urges Congress to enact legislation allowing certain eligible surviving spouses of veterans to receive an amount equal to the military retirement pay of the veteran after the veteran's death. Senate Joint Resolution 9, introduced by Senators Titus and Hansen, urges the Citizens Stamp Advisory Committee and the Postmaster General of the United States Postal Service for the creation of a postal stamp commemorating John Shoshu Thompson. Senate Joint Resolution 10, introduced by Senators Wynn et al. And Assembly Members Gonzalez et al., urges Congress to take certain actions relating to the therapeutic use of certain psychedelic compounds.
Assemblymember Mosca.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that all resolutions as listed on the resolution list of April 24, or dated April 24, 2025, be referred to the committees as provided for on the list.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. That will take us to Order of Business 9, introduction, first reading, and reference of bills.
Senate Bill 7, introduced by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, revises provisions relating to pre-sentence investigation and reports. Senate Bill 15, introduced by the Senate Committee on Government Affairs, revises various provisions relating to governmental administration. Senate Bill 20, introduced by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, revises provisions relating to criminal procedure. Senate Bill 24, introduced by the Senate Committee on Health and Human Services, provides for the certification and regulation of emergency medical responders. Senate Bill 48, introduced by the Senate Committee on Government Affairs, revises provisions relating to planning and zoning. Senate Bill 49, introduced by the Senate Committee on Commerce and Labor, revises provisions relating to consumer protection. Senate Bill 80, introduced by the Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, revises certain provisions governing motor vehicles. Senate Bill 87, introduced by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, revises provisions relating to forensic medical examinations. Senate Bill 91, introduced by Senator Donate and Assemblymember Gonzalez, establishes provisions relating to the use of diacritical marks in certain governmental records. Senate Bill 113, introduced by Senator Steinbeck, revises provisions relating to parking privileges for persons with disabilities. Senate Bill 115, introduced by Senators Cruz Crawford et al. And Assemblymember Moore, makes various changes relating to bilingual education. Senate Bill 121, introduced by Senator Neal, revises provisions governing common interest communities. Senate Bill 125, introduced by Senator Steinbeck, revises provisions relating to services provided to victims of crime. Senate Bill 130, introduced by Senators Donate et al., provides for the issuance by the State Contractors Board of a restricted license. Senate Bill 155, introduced by Senator Flores, revises provisions governing peace officers. Senate Bill 169, introduced by Senators Donate et al., prohibits a third-party reservation service platform provider from engaging in certain activities. Senate Bill 171, introduced by Senators Ornschall and Scheibel, enacts the SHIELD law to protect the transgender community. Senate Bill 179, introduced by Senators Ornschall et al., revises provisions relating to discrimination. Senate Bill 181, introduced by Senator Cruz Crawford, provides for the issuance of special license plates indicating support for Nevada State University. Senate Bill 183, introduced by Senator Scheibel, revises provisions relating to caseworkers of agencies which provide child welfare services. Senate Bill 188, introduced by Senator Donate, establishes procedures to assist certain persons with limited English proficiency in assessing health care in certain circumstances. Senate Bill 194, introduced by Senator Scheibel, revises provisions governing the short-term lease of a passenger car. Senate Bill 201, introduced by Senators Pizzina et al. And Assembly Members Roth et al., prohibits certain restrictions on the display of religious items under certain circumstances. Senate Bill 202, introduced by Senators Ellison et al., revises provisions relating to real property. Senate Bill 208, introduced by Senator Steinbeck et al., revises provisions governing certain surcharges imposed by a county. Senate Bill 210, introduced by Senators Stone and Ornschall, revises provisions relating to fees collected by constables and sheriffs for certain services. Senate Bill 213, introduced by Senators Stone et al., revises provisions relating to the crime of unlawful dissemination of intimate image. Senate Bill 215, introduced by Senators Titus and Daley and Assembly Members Watson Urick, revises provisions relating to wildlife. Senate Bill 235, introduced by Senator Hansen, revises provisions relating to wildlife. Senate Bill 273, introduced by the Senate Committee on Government Affairs, revises provisions governing the confidentiality of the personal information of certain persons. Senate Bill 276, introduced by Senators Hansen et al. And Assembly Members Watts et al., revises provisions relating to water. Senate Bill 279, introduced by Senators Pizzina et al., revises provisions relating to law enforcement. Senate Bill 287, introduced by the Senate Committee on Commerce and Labor, revises provisions relating to public works. Senate Bill 303, introduced by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, revises provisions relating to civil liability to persons using certain premises for recreational activities under certain circumstances. Senate Bill 305, introduced by Senators Danyate et al. And Assembly Members Torres Fawcett et al., revises provisions relating to interscholastic activities. Senate Bill 311, introduced by Senator Ellison, imposes certain requirements upon certain alarm companies. Senate Bill 315, introduced by Senator Daley, authorizes the Department of Transportation to enter into progressive design build contract for a certain project. Senate Bill 319, introduced by Senators Daley and Taylor, requires the Washoe County Board of County Commissioners, Reno City Council, and Spark City Council to establish a board to study the creation of a county fire protection district within this certain territory. Senate Bill 320, introduced by Senator Scheibel, revises provisions relating to crosswalks. Senate Bill 324, introduced by Senators Scheibel and Wynn, establishes I'm not doing very well here. Establishes prohibitions, there it is, related to the sale of water and certain disposable plastic bottles in communities abutting the Lake Tahoe watershed. Senate Bill 325, introduced by Senators Danyate et al. And Assembly Members De Silva et al., authorizes certain counties and cities to establish a program relating to the adoption of certain animals. Senate Bill 347, introduced by Senator Scheibel et al., revises provisions relating to mental health crisis holds. Senate Bill 348, introduced by Senators Pizzina and Buck, makes revisions relating to laboratory testing. Senate Bill 350, introduced by Senator Ornschall, revises provisions relating to the death penalty. Senate Bill 371, introduced by Senator Steinbeck and Danyate, revises provisions relating to crime. Senate Bill 372, introduced by Senator Steinbeck, revises provisions relating to care of children. Senate Bill 375, introduced by Senator Pizzina, revises provisions relating to credit unions. Senate Bill 386, introduced by Senators Scheibel et al., revises provisions relating to massage therapy. Senate Bill 416, introduced by the Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, revises provisions relating to the statewide sobriety and drug monitoring program. Senate Bill 440, introduced by the Senate Committee on Commerce and Labor, revises provisions relating to electricity. Senate Bill 442, introduced by the Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, requires the Public Utilities Commission of Nevada to establish certain reporting requirements. Senate Bill 443, introduced by the Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, revises provisions relating to public works. Senate Bill 445, introduced by the Senate Committee on Education, revises provisions relating to the privacy of data concerning pupils. Senate Bill 447, introduced by the Committee on Government Affairs, revises provisions relating to public works.
Assemblymember Howdigi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that all bills as listed on the Assembly Bills Introduction List dated April 24th, 2025 be referred to the committees as provided for on that list.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. The bills will be so referred. Members, that takes us to Order Business 15, remarks from the floor. I'm going to imagine we have quite a few remarks from the floor, given that today is Alumni Day, but if you'd be so kind as to hit your speak button, and then I will recognize you. So let's start with Assemblymember Considine.
Thank you, Speaker. With me today, I have Mr. Wally Swenson. He is the Vice President of Corporate Affairs for Nevada Hand. Today is also Take Your Child to Work Day, and with Mr. Swenson are his two daughters, Everly and Mila. They are in 5th and 1st grade at Pinecrest Inspirata in Henderson. Everly is a writer working on a novel. It is a murder mystery novel, and Mila loves cats and the color pink. Please help me welcome them to the chamber today. Thank you.
Assemblymember Roth.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you guys want to stand. Yeah. Today, I am honored to be joined by two former Assembly members who served in the most vibrant district in the Silver State, Assembly District 24. This morning, we have Assembly members Brooks Holcomb and Dr. Amber Joyner. First, Mr. Holcomb, who served in the Nevada Assembly representing District 24 during the 2005 legislative session. A small business owner from Reno, Mr. Holcomb brought a pragmatic and community-focused perspective to the legislature. His dedication to public service was evident through his involvement with organizations such as Northern Nevada Claims Association, Friends of Washoe County Library, and the Sierra Club. Mr. Holcomb's commitment to civic engagement and his contributions to the legislative process have left a lasting impact on the Silver State. Next, I'm also joined by Dr. Amber Joyner, a dedicated public servant who represented AD 24 from 2014 to 2019. Born and raised in Reno and a University of Nevada, Reno alumna, Dr. Joyner brought a wealth of experience to the legislature, including her roles as Deputy Director of the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services and as a Senior Research Analyst for the Legislative Council Bureau. During her tenure, she served as vice chair of both the Education and Health and Human Services committees, championing legislation that advanced public health, education, and social equity. Dr. Joyner also facilitates the UNR Legislative Internship Program, and after meeting with and watching presentations from this session's interns from the university, it's safe to say we cannot thank her enough for all she is doing to shape the next generation of leaders for Nevada. Please join me in welcoming them back to the People's House.
Assemblymember Dahlia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm honored today to be joined by two of the last three members to hold my seat, Mr. Steven Silberkraus and April Masterluca, who is also a close friend and mentor of mine. And we have a future Assembly member here who is also an honors student at Greenspun and a competitive sailor, Sawyer Silberkraus. Please make them feel welcome. Thank you.
Assemblymember Watts.
Thank you, Speaker. I am glad to be joined here today by Tom Roberts, colleague that formerly represented Assembly District 13. Mr. Roberts and I entered the legislature at the same time in 2019 for the 80th legislative session and served on the Judiciary Committee together under the chairmanship of our Speaker. He's a retired law enforcement officer. I'll just say that there have been a lot of rewarding experiences during my time in this chamber, but one of the best is having the opportunity to make a true friend, and I definitely consider Mr. Roberts to be a good friend of mine. I also think it's important to note that 6 years ago, almost to the day, tomorrow, one of the greatest floor speeches was given by my former colleague when this chamber was filled with pageant contestants and winners. And my colleague here noted that the perfect date is April 25th. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. All you need is a light jacket. So please, welcome him back to the People's House.
Assemblymember Hanson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm privileged today to be able to make a couple of introductions. First, I would like to introduce, I'll have you move over here a little bit, the Hansons are in the house, and so we're kind of taking up a lot of seats. So, former Assembly member Robert Benkovich, Assembly District 32, and we were chatting a bit about how the district has changed. It was Washoe County then, and now Assembly District 32 encompasses 6 counties, so it's grown a bit, just like the state has grown, with the citizens moving here to our beloved state. Mr. Benkovich came to us by way of Pennsylvania for graduate school at UNR, a social psychology major and a PhD candidate. He was also one of the managers of the Nevada Club, for those of us who remember the Nevada Club. His wife is Jean. They are the parents of 5 children, Terry, Sonia, Alexandria, Natalie, and Tillard. And he resides in Virginia Highlands, in Virginia Highlands and does work as a financial consultant and accountant. So we're glad to have him here with us. So please help me make him feel welcome. I'm also joined here today with my daughter, Sarah Gurries, and her 3 children. They came up from San Francisco to spend a few days on spring break. So we have her youngest, my grandson, Wilder, so you can wave to everybody, and Winter Grace, and Sawyer is here with us. And we snagged along my other granddaughter, one of their cousins, Arden Hawk, joining us today. My daughter Sarah is born and raised in Nevada, resides in the beautiful city of San Francisco. She's a registered nurse, in addition to being a wonderful wife and mother. And she's also, so she's currently working at Kaiser Hospital in San Francisco, and she's also an internationally board-certified lactation consultant, where she provides a really needed service to mothers as they're breastfeeding their babies and welcoming those new little babes into the world. So we appreciate what she does, not only as our daughter, but how she serves in the community by being a wonderful nurse. So help me make them feel welcome.
Assemblymember De Silva.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have with me here my friend Bob Rusk, whom I met actually last year during the Alumni Day here in our legislature. So Mr. Rusk moved here in 1961 from Apple Valley, California, where he was a great track star, and he would go on to be a champion track runner at UNR. Then in the 1970s, he got interested in politics and actually ran for office and won a seat in Assembly District 19, which is in the Reno area. This is in 1978. Mr. Rusk would also have a big role as the minority leader and had a huge impact on Nevada history. He can tell you the story later on when Nevada finally got its second congressional seat after the 1980 census. So he'll tell you the story about that. That's a long story. It's a major part of Nevada history. He would go on to serve as the minority leader and then 8 years for the Washoe County Commission. So let's welcome Bob back to the legislature. Welcome back.
Assemblymember Gray.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was going to try and be funny, but it's not even going to happen. If you guys could help me welcome former Assemblyman Jim Wheeler here, a good friend of mine, been a great mentor. Jim served from 2013 to 2021. In 2019, Jim was the majority leader. In 2017, he was the deputy minority leader. In 2015, he served as the majority whip. And in 2015, he served as the chair of the Transportation Committee. The guy's been there, done that, and I would hope this body misses him. I'm sure he provided as much entertainment here as he does for me in the off hours. But good guy. If you could please welcome him. Thank you.
Assemblymember Edgeworth.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have 2 friends joining me today. I'm very honored to have Sharon Engel here with me today. We all know her pretty well, I think, but just to let you know, she's homegrown from Nevada. She was born in Reno, grew up in the rurals in Nevada, the rurals, right? And then went to UNR. She is known to us for being in the Assembly from 1999 to 2007, and she served as a minority whip. And then, very exciting news, she's planning to run for Secretary of State in 2026. So please help me welcome her back to the People's House. I'm also joined by my friend, Jeff Ecker. He and his lovely wife are my neighbors and my constituents, but he's here representing Nevada Hand. He's the Director of Community Outreach and Engagement. Please help me welcome him. Thank you.
Assemblymember Torres Fawcett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm excited today to introduce my predecessor in this seat and good friend, and that is Nelson Araujo. So Nelson was first elected to this body in 2015. He had the opportunity of being the Vice Chair of Legislative Operations and Elections and was the Assistant Minority Floor Leader. He was also the first Salvadoran American elected to the legislature, and as some of you might know, I am the second Salvadoran American elected to this body, and it's super exciting to introduce him here. He was the first campaign that I had the pleasure of working on. And so when I was at the doors, my first time running for office, many people were like, how about the other guy? No, you were here a couple years ago for the other guy. We really like him. And I was like, don't worry. He has other plans. And so I'm really excited to have him with me on the floor. He has been a phenomenal mentor. And for the first time that I ever sat in this chamber was when he was here and he was sitting somewhere on the other side of the floor, and I had the opportunity to sit with him. So it's a very full circle moment for me to have the opportunity to introduce him here today. Thank you.
Assemblymember Koenig.
I have here with me today former Assemblyman Tom Grady. Tom is a lifelong Nevada resident, was born in the great city of Tonopah. He served in the Assembly from 2002 to 2014. He's a former the Nevada League of Cities Executive Director. And before he came here to Carson City, he was the mayor of Yerington. And the best part is he now lives in Fallon.
Assemblymember Hardy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have two alumni to recognize today. And first, I would like to introduce my very good friend, who many of you know, Jill Tolles. She represented Assembly District 25 in Reno. She served 3 regular sessions and 3 special sessions from 2017 to 2021. She served as the Assistant Minority Floor Leader from the North. She has served on the Education Committee, and she has always been a fierce advocate for education and had a distinguished career at UNR. And you probably all know now that she is the Executive Director at the Gwynn Center, which we are just think is a wonderful resource for all of us. And I'm so proud of her, and I had the opportunity and the privilege to serve with her my freshman year and then in another session. And I can tell you that she was a great mentor to me. I learned from her how to be an effective legislator. And to this day, she's one of my dearest friends. She's one of those that no matter how long it's been since we've talked or seen each other, we see each other and we pick up right where we left off. And she comes to Vegas quite often now, and so it's wonderful to have her, to see her in Vegas and to see her here today. So please welcome her back to the People's House. Now for the tough one. On this Alumni Day, I rise to honor a very special alumnus. My father, Melvin D. Close Jr. And today also happens to be his birthday. He would have been 91. He served in this legislature with dedication and distinction. He was a member of this body for 3 terms, and in 1967, he had the honor of serving as Speaker of the Assembly. In 1969, he served as Assembly Minority Floor Leader. He later served 3 terms in the Senate, where he also held the position of President Pro Tem. In his profession as a lawyer for over 50 years, he was revered as a brilliant legal mind. He practiced with integrity, always representing his clients with the utmost respect, not just for them, but for everyone involved in the process. His reputation extended far beyond the courtroom. He was known for his fairness, his wisdom, and his unwavering ethical standards. During my time serving in the legislature, I've been approached by numerous individuals from lobbyists to former legislators, from staff who served alongside him to attorneys he worked with in the legal field. Time and again, they've expressed their admiration for my father, using words like humble, honest, open-minded, respectful, and willing to listen to all opinions and viewpoints. They've called him a true statesman. As I reflect on him not only today, but every day, I'm filled with deep gratitude. Gratitude for his legacy and for the incredible privilege of carrying that legacy forward. To me, he will always be the greatest example of what it means to be a legislator, a public servant, a businessman, and above all, a father. He set the standard, and I strive to live up to that every day. Happy birthday, Dad.
Assemblymember Hafen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm honored to have my cousin, former Assemblyman Glenn Levitt. He served here in this body from 2018 through 2022. He served 2 regular sessions, 3 special sessions, and we happened to live together during COVID, and that's when we got to know each other so well. Contrary to belief, he's not the one that gave me COVID. It was the Assembly member from District 32 who gave me COVID. Thank you for that. That was 8 days of my life I'll never get back. But I survived, and we all survived the COVID. But if you would, please welcome former Assembly member Glenn Levitt.
Assemblymember LaRue Hatch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am delighted to introduce Assemblymember Patty Cafferata. She has had many titles, including judge, district attorney, state treasurer. I think, of course, the most important was Assemblymember for District 25, and I am delighted to welcome her back to the People's House and thank her for her lifetime of service to the state of Nevada. Thank you.
Assemblymember Howdigi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am so honored to have former Assembly Majority Leader William Horn with me today. Majority Leader Horn served 6 regular sessions and 6 special sessions. He had the honor of chairing Judiciary, serving as the Assistant Majority Whip, and also as Majority Leader. And fun fact, 22 years ago today, when he was serving in his freshman session, his son was born. So let's welcome Harry Horn, and well, let's wish Henry a happy birthday, and welcome Majority Leader Horn back to our assembly.
Assemblymember Jackson.
Thank you, Speaker. Assembly District 6 has a rich history of representatives. I just want to recognize Harvey Munford, who passed away in 2023. He was also known as Coach Munford. He was very loved in the community. He served from 2004 to 2016. I just want to recognize him.
Assemblymember Monroe Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to ask the former speaker to go ahead and stand. You all know John Oseguera as a lobbyist in the building, but what you may not know is he has a long history here in Nevada. He was born in Reno. I first met John, and I don't know if he remembers it, but he was the assistant chief of the North Las Vegas Fire Department, and I was constantly trying to catch him when he would come home from session to ask him questions because he was one of the inspirations why I ran for office to represent our community and be a part of this body. He's a loving husband, a father of 3. If you ever meet his wife, she is definitely his better half. I mean, he's amazing, but she's his better half. He served in this body as the Assembly Assistant Majority Floor Leader, the Majority Leader, but he was elected by this body as Speaker in 2011. And didn't give up serving because he's working with us all on policies that we create to this day. So thank you for the work that you did in our city and in this body, and join me in welcoming him back to the People's House.
Assemblymember Gray.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for your indulgence on this one. I just forgot to mention the most important thing about Mr. Wheeler to me. He's a fellow Air Force veteran, but I think it was actually called the Army Air Forces when he joined.
Oh, come on.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other order of business 15 remarks from the floor? I did want to take an opportunity to welcome all of our alumni back to the floor. It's good to have you here. We tried to keep the floor session a little bit shorter so you didn't bring back any PTSD of long floor sessions, but it's really nice to have you all here today. With that, we'll go to Assemblymember Howdigi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do want to let everyone know today is Alumni Day, and as is customary, there is alumni lunch. So immediately following floor, I hope everyone heads upstairs to room 3100 to sit with all of our alumni who are here and break some bread together. With that, Speaker, seeing no other business before us, I move that the Assembly stand adjourned until Monday, April 28th, 2025 at the hour of 11:30 a.m.
Assemblymember Howdigi has moved that the Assembly stand adjourned until Monday, April 28th, 2025 at the hour of 11:30 a.m. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.